Okay, hello everyone and welcome to Animecast. Today I'm going to be doing a Hunter x Hunter Animecast, which is like a podcast but in video format. It's just supposed to be something that you can listen to but don't necessarily have to keep your eyes on the screen. So usually I do reactions on this channel, but this is a little bit different. I really love anime and I really love talking about it and sharing my opinions and hearing other people's thoughts when we're on the same page. It's difficult to talk about anime when other people are a lot further in the anime than I am, so we'll talk about that more later. I just quickly want to summarize the intention or purpose of this video. I have been having some issues with the Hunter x Hunter fandom. Like, it has negatively influenced my experience of the show because I do care so much about what other people think. I really take a lot of time to read through comments and respond to as many as I can, and that's why when the fandom is very negative or toxic, or it can really, the thing is, I don't remember names of people that are rude to me. Like, if 10 people are rude to me, it's not like I'm going to direct my anger at them. I don't know who they are. They're just, anonymous people behind their computer screens. So what happens is, when I have to, defend myself or defend my opinion or from people, and I'll talk about the kind of people later, but when I have to keep doing that after every single video I post, and there are those kinds of people that are saying these things, I can't be mad at them specifically. What happens then is that built-up frustration ends up being projected onto the show. So then every time when I sit to watch another episode, I think about these people and I anticipate their negative responses. So that means that I end up tiptoeing around my opinion. Like, I don't want to say this because what if they say this? Because if I don't praise the show, if I say anything negative, they're gonna say this and blah 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 blah. Like, that's what's going on in my head, and that's making my viewing experience not fun. It's not nice anymore. So when you have that kind of frustration, that means that you're enjoying it even less than I might have. Like, maybe my enjoyment is at 70% and not 90%, like most people when they watch Hunter x Hunter. So if mine's at 70%, but now I'm also anticipating this huge negative response after posting every video or whatever, then my enjoyment goes down to 50%. So by wanting me to enjoy the show and praise it more than I am, people are actually shooting themselves in the foot and making it even more difficult for me to enjoy the show. So the purpose of today's video is just to talk about my feelings toward the show, good and bad, up to now. I'm only on episode 27, and I've on YouTube I've posted up to episode let me just double check, 18. No wait, I'm on episode 29, right? 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. Yes. So I'm on episode 29. I recently finished watching that. But on YouTube, I've posted up to episode 18. And I just kind of want to talk about everything and be honest, because I don't like that people are making me feel like I can't be honest about my feelings. I think the great thing about anime is that people feel differently about things and that we get to talk about that, agree and disagree. The only problem is that people don't just disagree with me, they end up insulting me, calling me ignorant because I don't get the greatness that is Hunter x Hunter. I should just stop watching because clearly blah 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 blah. I don't want to talk too much about that right now. Towards the end, I will talk more about the fandom. But my first thing that I want to talk about is I'm going to go through my notes on each episode, and I'll just say which episodes were highlights for me, which episodes may not have been. Then secondly, what I want to do is, I forgot the second thing that I wanted to do, but then I want to talk about, the second thing that I want to do is, or third, the order doesn't really matter, I want to tell my patrons what they can expect like from my posts in the future, because I did change things around. So my patrons don't have to listen to the whole video to get to that point. I will put a timestamp when I talk about that. So it's going to be my thoughts on each episode, just summarized, because I do have some notes. 2, I'm going to talk about how I'm going to approach it in the future. Or maybe the first thing I should do is talk about the fandom, the most negative experience, the most negative thing about Hunter x Hunter for me, which is the fandom. So then I'll talk about the fandom, and then I'm gonna just explain how I'm going to approach the videos in the future, because for a little while I felt like I just want to drop it. I'm like, I don't have time for this shit. I don't have time to deal with people arguing with me about my opinion and telling me I'm stupid, or there's so many things, like I wrote it down, that I have to defend myself constantly, and that wastes so much time. I spend every day editing and recording videos, and when people argue with me constantly and call me names and I have to defend myself, like that wastes 30 to 40 minutes of my day, which means that's like 2 videos I might have been able to do, depending on how much I talked in those videos. But if I have to keep doing that, it feels like eventually it wastes my time, you know? And so I'm gonna find a different way to deal with the fandom. I'm gonna distance myself a bit, and by the end of this video I will explain to my patrons how I'm going to do that. I will put a timestamp, so you don't have to listen to everything if you don't want, but I do recommend that you listen to the end of the video. Check the timestamp in the pinned comment or whatever. So let's begin with my thoughts on each episode. Let's talk about Hunter x Hunter and my experience thus far, my review per se, things I took note of so far. Let's start with episode 1, Departure and Friends. This is the introduction to Hunter x Hunter, and I have to admit I did learn, I think I read it somewhere, that something was changed compared to the manga, because I've thought about reading the manga to see, you know, is it just maybe the anime that some parts are bothering me? But just don't get me wrong, there's a lot that I love too, and I will be talking about that, okay? I think it's pretty equal. Like there's stuff that I really love about it, and stuff that I just that makes me think of the anime as a whole, and like it's good, but I mean it's not great yet. Like maybe it'll get there, but right now it's good, and there's stuff that I love, but then there's stuff that I really don't love. So what was I saying? I don't know. But episode 1, Departure and Friends, the character, the thing that was changed. I wanted to read the manga, but I just read some opinions on the manga, and someone said they were really mad because the anime adapted something differently. There is apparently something that's not included that should have been included, that they included later as a flashback or whatever. I don't know. But that's as much as I know. I just wanted to point that out. But episode 1, we meet Gon, who is 12, his aunt. We know about his father. We meet Leorio and Kurapika. And I just like to point out from the very start that the characters at this point, including Killua, the main characters, are my favorite part of the show. Like, I will keep watching, despite how many people tell me, just drop it because you don't get it, you're ignorant. Despite the people that keep telling me that, I will keep watching it because these characters, like, I love them, and I think that they're great characters, and I look forward to seeing where their stories lead. Okay, so the first episode, short summary. 12-year-old Gon Freaks, I don't know how to say that surname again, I forgot, catches Whale Island's monsterfish, the master of the swamp. To gain permission from the reluctant Aunt Mito, Freaks to take the Hunter exam. Aboard the ship going to the location of the Hunter exam, Gon impresses the captain when he predicts a violent storm approaching and meets Leorio and Kurapika. On Unanswered Questions, does Gon have any special abilities like superpowers, or is he just a very strong and agile kid? I didn't get, to this day, I don't really understand why he is as strong as he is. Like, it's literally superhuman abilities, but for no apparent reason. But someone explained to me something like he grew up basically outside, and that's why he was shown to catch the master of the swamp to show his strength, and I don't know, I just feel like there is not really any justification at this point. It might in the future happen, but up to episode 27, I don't really understand his strengths. I don't really understand why does he have such superhuman smell and everything. Like, it's strange because it doesn't seem like everyone is like that. It doesn't seem like people have special powers. Like, people can't breathe flame and stuff. It's just if you train really hard, you can become superhuman strong. But up to this point, I don't know. It's just like, to me, there hasn't been given like a really good explanation as to why he's just so strong and such a good, he has such good smell. But, you know, we can assume maybe it has something to do with his dad or his lineage. But at this point, we don't know yet. So there's still that unanswered question, which isn't a bad thing. It's just there, and that's what I'm saying. Is Gon's father still alive? This question has been answered. So let me just answer that. Yeah, I'm going to go with yes. It's technically been answered because he did speak to Satots. And he kind of confirmed that his dad is still alive. So I'm assuming he's alive. Okay, but you can never know. He might have died after Satot saw him, so who knows? What is Mito to Gon? Answer, aunt. That's what I think. Who is Gon's mother? Up to episode 29, where I'm at, there has been no answer given to that. Notes, Gon has very good smell. Okay, episode 2. I hope this isn't too boring, but I wanted to highlight like some of my favorite episodes and stuff, and I think this is the best way to do it, kind of to like read through my notes the same way that I do my One Piece reviews. The introduction to Hunter x Hunter was good. Like, nothing grabbed my attention from the very beginning, but I was very interested in Gon as a character and in the world. Like, what kind of world is this? What kind of people are here? What kind of adventures will he have? So I was interested in the story and the main character, but at that point, nothing had like shot out and grabbed me. Like, for example, with other anime, sometimes there's a line or a specific character that I just resonate with, and here in the introduction, the debut episode, nothing really grabbed me like that. Okay, episode 2, Taste of Tests. No important characters were introduced that I could see, because, you know, you kind of pick up on when a character is really important. I might miss it though, and that would be fun to look back one day and see, I didn't even think that was an important character, but we'll see as time goes on. Okay, short summary. In this episode, Gon, Kurapika, and Leorio reach Dole Harbor and are given a tip by the captain to head for the cedar tree on the hilltop behind the city. Moving through a small town, the three are stopped by a group of masked people, and an old woman posts a riddle requiring them to choose between two possible answers. This was a highlight episode for me. Not the episode as a whole, but the riddle part, or the riddle requiring them to choose two possible answers. That to me was a highlight because I feel like it highlighted a very important theme, which I spoke about in my review of the video. So I'm not going to ramble on about it now, but that is a standout theme for me. Like, I hope that the story deals with it more in the future, and I look forward to that. Okay, so the only unanswered question that I had in this episode, what is a hunter? So how am I going to... how do I put this? I should actually show you guys this, right? If you want to see it. I want to highlight, find a way to highlight things I like that are stand out for me, things that I love, so that I can, when people accuse me of like like you should just stop watching it because you don't understand it and da da da. Like there's so much in the story that I love. Just because I say a few things every now and again that I don't love, that doesn't mean I should just now stop watching the anime. Like I think that's a really rude thing to say. But I'm going to highlight it with purple. Okay, so everything that's purple is standout stuff to me. I don't know how else to put that. Okay, so Gon, Leorio, Kurapika are the characters themselves. The riddle requiring them to choose between two possible answers, that to me as well was a standout scene because of kind of the theme it imparted or highlighted for the story. Okay, episode 3, Rivals for Survival. Characters: Killua, the badass blondie; Hisoka, magician. Remember, this is what I wrote right after watching the episode. Hisoka, magician; Hanzo, baldy; 301, Needleface, which was later revealed to be Killua's brother; Nicholas, who wasn't that important because he failed very soon; and Tonpa, the rookie crusher. Okay, so I'm going to highlight Killua. He is a standout character for me. Hisoka at this point, I know that a lot of people like him a lot. I think he's really weird. He stands out, but not for good reasons necessarily. I would like to know what the hell made him the kind of person that he is. And while I was researching a little bit about the manga, I read that there is a Hisoka backstory or something, but I'm not sure because I don't read closely just in case of spoilers. So just tell me if you know about that. But yeah, Hisoka, interesting, but not necessarily for the right reasons. Still kind of, cautious about that. I don't know yet what I think about him. Okay, so short summary. Gon, Kurapika, and Leorio arrive at Zaban City, the venue of the Hunter exam, where they meet Tonpa, another friendly veteran examinee. Unanswered questions: who is Killua and why does he want to be a hunter? Who is Hisoka and why does he want to be a hunter? And what did the examiner mean by saying 404 participants? Gon was 405. So that was already answered. Hisoka killed that one guy, and that just kind of went over my head because I didn't realize he had killed him. Okay, notes. Luck and ability seem to be an important part of being a hunter. Poison does not affect Killua. I think that's probably important to remember for the future. Okay, episode 4, Hope and Ambition. The Kurta clan was mentioned, the Phantom Troop was mentioned, Leorio's friend was mentioned, and we saw them in a flashback. Short summary. Okay, so this episode 3 to me, not really stand out. Yeah, we got to meet Killua, but not really much happened. But episode 4, I enjoy learning about their backstories and stuff, so that would immediately pique my interest. Gon befriends Killua on his run to the exit. Leorio nearly gives up, but Gon waits for him until Leorio gains the motivation to catch up. Later, the group shares their own reasons for becoming hunters. So their own reasons for becoming hunters. To me, oopsie, wrong one. For me, that is important, and it's a standout thing. Like I love it when characters have motivations. Like they're doing what they're doing for a specific reason, and we as viewers get to learn about the characters and their past and what drives them, and that just makes them more relatable, right? So to me, that was something that was stand out. I like learning about what drove the characters. Unanswered questions: will Rio, after becoming a hunter and getting lots of money, use that money to become a doctor? So this was already answered. I'm just going to say short answer here. It was basically already answered. When you're a hunter, you basically can do a lot of stuff for free, and so he's studying, and then he'll study to become a doctor. So the answer is still yes. I mean, it's just summarily it's yes. Will these 4 pass the test, and will they team up, or how will they end up teaming up after the hunter exam? So they teamed up at first to to get Killua. So 3 of them passed the test. Killua didn't pass the test. I wonder if he ever will. And they teamed up to get to Killua, and then when they got Killua, they split up, but they're planning on meeting again at York New City. Notes, Leo wants to be a hunter for the money because when he was younger, his friend died because the surgery needed to cure him cost too much. He wants to be a doctor, or he wanted to be a doctor, but it also cost too much to study to become a doctor. That's why he believes that the world runs on money, and that's why he wants to become rich through being a hunter. That's a really good character build-up. Like, it really... Leorio is a really good character. He makes sense, you know? He's given enough to... We learn enough about his past to understand his current personality, that kind of stuff. I really like him as a character. Gon wants to be a hunter to find out why his dad wanted to be a hunter rather than being with him. That can get pretty dark, and I hope that because he's so happy and chilled about it. Like, I want to find out why my dad left me. You know, it's kind of like, it's like it sounds happy, but if you think about it, it's actually really sad. And I'm wondering if it will end up taking maybe a little bit of a darker turn. So I hope so, but we'll see. Kurapika wants to be a hunter to deal with rich clients, which will give her access or information. I still thought Kurapika was a girl here. Just ignore the preposition. On the black market so that she can reclaim her clan's eyes, Kurta clan. And also she wants to defeat the Phantom Troop. So that is Kurapika's goal, is to reclaim his clan's eyes and defeat the Phantom Troop. So... Killua only wanted to take the hunter exam because he heard it was very difficult and he thought that it would be fun. Episode 5. Okay, so this episode, like I said, really enjoyed it. I like learning more about the characters. So it's good. It was good. I want to try and count how many episodes I enjoyed it versus how many episodes because sometimes when I'm watching Hunter x Hunter, and I'm going to talk about this later, but the pace is really okay, actually I figured it out. It's not that the pace is slow, because I enjoy stories with a slower pace. It's just that the pace is slow, plus there's not much else going on. It's kind of uninteresting. When the pace is slow, it's uninteresting. In other anime, when the pace is slow, there's other stuff keeping me interested. Once again, I'll talk about it later when I talk about the fandom. Unanswered questions. Will Leo, after being blah 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 blah. Have I already read this? Yes, I have. Episode 5. Here we go. Hisoka is so sneaky. Characters, no new characters that I can tell that are important. Short summary, the marathon through the wetlands starts. Leorio and Kurapika get separated from Gon and Killua. In the fog, many applicants try to take down Hisoka. So they run for a while. That's the first test. They run. Is it true that Hisoka did not kill Gon or Leorio because he senses they are kindred spirits? I'm not so sure about that, the phrasing of that unanswered questions. Is it true that Hisoka did not kill Gon and Leorio? Was it just Gon? Why did he not kill Leorio? I'm not really sure about that. Why? Why did he... his character still doesn't always make sense to me. I don't really understand. That whole scene really didn't make a lot of sense to me, the way it played out, because they attacked Hisoka and Hisoka attacked them, and then Leorio and Kurapika ran away, but then Leorio came back, and then Hisoka was gonna kill Leorio, but then Gon got there, but then he didn't kill either of them, even though they also attacked him. He's a little bit, his character doesn't make sense to me yet, and that's okay. I'll figure it out later, I guess. We'll learn more about him. But yeah, that scene was a bit odd. I also didn't understand why why Leorio didn't, or why did he come back? Why did he want to fight Hisoka if Hisoka was the one being attacked. But now that I think about it, someone said something like he didn't see those guys attacked Hisoka first, or something like that. So that makes sense. But it still doesn't understand, like, why did he not kill Leorio and Gon? But Gon I understand because he sensed, but did he sense the same in Leorio, or was it just Gon and he didn't kill Leorio because Gon was protecting him? Let me know what you think. Why is Hisoka and Needleface working together? Are they cheating? I guess it's not cheating if you're working together, like a lot of people work together. But knowing who Gitarakur is, Illumi, knowing him, how does he know Hisoka, and why were they working together at all? Like, why do they need to work together? A little bit confusing still. I guess we'll find answers later about how they know each other and why they were working together. Why did Leorio turn back to fight Hisoka? Is Hisoka a sadist? There were some people saying he is and some people saying he isn't, but it seems like their disagreement is because they don't see a sadist as the same thing. I have to admit, I kind of see him as a sub-genre of a sadist. You know how you get like a thing, but then also it's broken down to different parts, and then you're a type of thing in that thing? That's kind of Hisoka. Like, he's a sadist, maybe not the I don't know. I see him kind of like a sadist. Notes, Killua said that he gets a bad vibe from Hisoka, but he described it as a bad smell. Gon did not smell anything bad though. So maybe the reason for that is because Killua already experienced Nen, which we learn about later. So my guess here is that the reason why Killua smells something bad and Gon doesn't is because Killua sensed that Nen power that his brother had too, or uses, and Killua associates that with something negative, whereas Gon doesn't. So I guess that would explain that. See, stuff like that, it's only upon rewatching or rethinking these things that you can even see stuff like that. And that's why it frustrates me so much that people get like mad at me for not focusing enough. Like, oh, all the answers are right there in front of you, why don't you see it? And I'm like, you never see, no matter how much you pay attention, you will never see everything the first time you watch something. At this stage, 220 applicants have withdrawn, leaving 148 remaining. So overall, episode 5 was not my favorite episode because during that time, things didn't really make sense to me. But looking back, I'm like, okay, it makes more sense now. Because that's sometimes the only way you appreciate something is when you live through the story and then you go back and think about it. But it's like people don't want to give me that time to just live through the story. They want to correct me, and you know, like I don't want to be spoon-fed, because what they end up doing is they're derogative, like saying I don't pay enough attention. Let's not rant about that. It's not my I will rant later. Episode 6, an unexpected task. Characters: Menshi, the green-haired skimpy outfit girl, lol. Buhara, the guy that says everything tastes good, and Netero, the chairman of the selection committee. Let me just quickly post a video here. It should be done. Publish. I just quickly want to send this to the person, Mike, that is supposed to edit it for me. He edits my Hunter x Hunter reactions and my My Hero Academia reactions with a timer. Whenever you can. Okay, let's go back here. Short summary. The gourmet hunters, Menshi and Buhara, task the applicants to cook a pork dish with meats from the world's most dangerous pig for the second phase, to the annoyance of the applicants. This challenge to me was kind of boring, like the whole running thing. I understand the purpose of it. Like, we have to understand that hunters are supposed to have endurance. We have to understand that there are different kinds of hunters. Even a gourmet hunter has a, like, in the end of the episode, didn't someone look down on gourmet hunters and then they learn that, like, I understand the purpose of the episodes, but that doesn't mean that it isn't kind of boring still. Do you understand? Like, in other anime, when the pacing is slow, I can also understand the purpose of it, but often I'm still entertained despite the slow pacing because it's fucking funny or entertaining in some other way. Like, there's, I don't know, it's just, this to me, I understand the purpose of it, but it's still kind of boring. Like, it's not very funny. It's just, they're okay, now they're hunting it, and now he figures out how to hunt the pig, and he has to hit him on the soft spot or something. Okay, now they're gonna make it. Like, it's really slow and uninteresting, and there's not a lot of jokes, and I understand that for some people they don't want jokes all the time. For some people that's fine, that doesn't put them off, but it's my job to review anime and tell you how I feel about it. So if I feel, okay, this is a little bit slow in my opinion and there's not much going on to keep me interested, so that's how I feel about this episode. Like, that's just me saying my opinion. And how you can share your opinion is saying, I enjoy slow-paced episodes with not many jokes because I don't need jokes to keep interested. I was interested because I'm also a cook and I wanted to see how they blah, 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 blah. I don't know, you explain why you liked it, but there's no reason to tell me, actually, you're wrong, you can't feel that way because it's perfect the way they did it, because jokes aren't necessary to make something, you know, like that kind of attitude when I have to read through, like, then I have to reply and kind of defend my opinion, even though there's no right or wrong here. It's just you sharing your opinion, me sharing mine. It's just, it's very subtle, but how you share your opinion makes a difference. Because, yeah, okay, I'll get to it. Unanswered questions. How many different types of hunters are there? How many different types of hunter is there? Whatever, I don't care about the grammar. What kind of hunter would I be? Why did Leorio forget the fight between him and the magician? Was his memory wiped? If so, why? Or did he just forget because he was knocked out? Why did Hisoka take out one of those cards when Menchi said they had all failed? Was he about to fight her? Will we ever find out how Mount Split in Half got split in half? I thought that would be an interesting story to include at some point. Notes. There are gourmet hunters and blacklist hunters. Every hunter knows some form of martial arts, says Menchi. Hunters need to be focused and willing to experiment, says Menchi. And only 42 applicants remain. So once again, I'm glad I watched the episode, of course, because it's necessary to understand that there are different kinds of hunters and each hunter has a value. But it was, to me, a boring episode. Nothing really stood out to me. Episode 7, Showdown on the Airship. Characters, none of importance that I could tell. Short summary. During the free time in the airship bound for the third exam location, Kurapika and Leorio take a rest while Gon and Killua wander around the airship. Chairman Netero sees and challenges them to a game that involves getting a ball from him, telling them that they will automatically become hunters if they succeed. Unanswered questions. How many times has Hisoka taken the hunter exam? I'm pretty sure they already said this. Was not his first time. He's not a rookie, but then why did he fail before? Why did he not fail this time? What changed between then and now? That question was answered. I don't know if I missed it, or I don't remember where it was answered. Maybe someone told me. Hisoka apparently, he killed someone the previous year. which isn't hard to believe considering he almost wanted to kill Menchi, you know. What is Killua's goal in life? I think that could be considered answered. We saw that he wants to live a normal life. He wants to have friends. He wants to be a kid. He wants to be happy. That's his goal. You know, he didn't want his whole life to be planned out for him, and that plan being fucking assassin, become the world's best assassin, whatever. He didn't like that. And he wants to be happy and have friends. So I think that was also answered. In the notes, I just said seeking out rivals. And I think with that, if I remember correctly, it's just about hunters seek out rivals. Like, hunters aren't necessarily good people. Hunters are sometimes strong people, and strong people, I don't know, they want to fight. They want to challenge themselves. They want to see who can, they want to taste their limits and stuff. So, seeking out rivals. I guess that's what I meant. And I guess that could be considered for me as something like, that's something I want to think about, like, or not something I want to think about, but that's something I find interesting in the story. Like, hunters aren't necessarily good people. Sometimes they're just strong people who want to challenge themselves, or who want to get like Illumi, who wants to have a hunter license to do something bad, which is still kind of doesn't make sense to me, this whole hunter situation. Like giving people that much power and not testing how, like, are they criminals or not, that seems to be like a little bit of a fucked up system, but okay. Then episode 8, not that kind of system doesn't exist in our world. Some places are quite lenient with, for example, gun licenses. No, I think it's too easy to get guns, for example. I guess I don't want to talk about the whole controversy, like, should people be allowed to own guns, and I don't really have an opinion on that or anything. I just know that sometimes in some countries it's really a little too easy to get a gun, and that's what I think here. Like, the system is a bit like, they get stuff for free, and like, it's a bit much to not check someone's criminal record or whatever, you know. Characters, none of importance that I can tell, no new ones. Short summary. For the third phase, the candidates are abandoned at the top of Trick Tower, wherein long-term criminals are kept. They're given 72 hours to get out alive and pass the exam. Unanswered questions, it was not confirmed whether or not Killua killed those 2 men, but I guess I'm going to assume he did. Answer, I believe according to the amount of applicants left, it's pretty much a given that he did kill them. Okay. It is revealed that out of the 40 applicants that started the third phase of the Hunter exam, only 39 applicants remain. Okay. So this episode, I don't remember anything about it. Like, to me that says I was probably really bored or something, because I hardly made any notes. Episode 9, Beware of Prisoners. Oh, decision by majority. Is that the episode where they just fall down and then Tompa joins them? Yeah, no, that was, I don't even remember. It's a little bit, it says a lot about that episode. Okay, episode 9, Beware of Prisoners. Characters, no new characters of importance. Short summary, Gon faces off against Sedokan, and Majitani faces off against Kurapika, who reveals a startling and scary secret. Unanswered questions, does the number on the spider tattoos refer to their rank? Is number 1 or number 0 the strongest? Like, yeah, I explained it all in the video. If you want, I'm gonna share the link to these notes in the description, and then also if you click here, it'll take you to the episode on YouTube. So this was a good episode because of this scene with Kurapika. Majitani faces off with Kurapika. The fight with their, like, that moment, just Kurapika's intensity, really awesome. Like, I just really enjoy Kurapika's character, and right now where I'm at in the story, as it progresses, I mean, it's really hard for me to choose a favorite between Killua and Kurapika. Unanswered questions. Is number 1 Rama 0 the strongest? Notes, they have lost 1 and won 2. I'm predicting that Leo will lose and it will be 2-2, which will make it more exciting, obviously, but then Killua will win the last round. I think that ended up happening, right? Kurapika goes into a frenzy even when he sees a real spider. That's quite important, I guess. Kurapika tells Majitani to remember 3 things. A genuine Phantom Troop tattoo has the member's number inscribed on the spider tattoo's back. They have murdered so many people that it would be impossible to count. Do not ever mention the Phantom Troop again to Kurapika or he will kill you. So, episode 9, I enjoyed the Majitani fight against Kurapika. And I remember thinking, like, during these episodes, it isn't... Like, I found it interesting that the story doesn't rely on big fight scenes. Like, some of it's very, all, you know, head stuff. Like playing, this is going to be a crappy way to explain it, but, like, you can, let's say you have a Saturday open and you can go water rafting or whatever you call it with your friends, or go hiking, or go do something active outside. Like, you can do that, or you can also stay at home and play board games with your friends, like Monopoly or whatever, have snacks and the like, or even Pictionary, or you can stay at home yourself and play Sudoku and, I don't know, enhance your mental abilities. I don't know. Like, different forms of fun, but, you know, sometimes, like, that is a more exciting form of fun. Not everyone would want to do it, but you gotta admit, that's more exciting forms of fun. And this is, like, that's what I was trying to say. Like, this is a different form of fun. This is, like, a lot of these episodes with the marathon where they were running. Then there was the food that they had to make. Then the decision by majority, they had to talk about what it means and go right or go left, and then there's the candle, and then, you know, and Tompa, who didn't fight because, you know, it's a different, like, it's all mental, and it's not necessarily exciting fighting like in some shonen. And I remember thinking, like, yeah, this is a different kind of fun. But the thing is, it's a slower kind of fun, it's a more mental kind of fun. It's like playing Sudoku instead of going horse riding. But the thing is, like, Sudoku is fun, but then there should be other things in the story to keep me, like, you know, on the edge of my seat. Because up to this point, there have been very few moments where I felt like I was on the edge of my seat. And that's the only thing that's my only real, throughout the whole fucking story, it's my only real complaint. But it's not even a complaint, because it's just an observation, like, this is how I feel. And the problem is that I get irritated with people who tell me, you feel wrong because this anime is a masterpiece, and if you don't get it, you should drop it. Like, that kind of stuff. Anyway, I enjoyed this episode because of that whole Kurapika scene. Very intense character. I really love Kurapika. Love. Okay, episode 10, Trick to the Trick. Kurapika and Majitani's match has yet to be settled. However, Leorio is able to win a bet over Majitani, putting the score at 2-1. Unfortunately, they only have 20 hours left to wager. Okay, so at this point in the story, they have lost 1 and won 2. Leorio is smarter than he looks, but then in the next episode, I think there's a moment and I remember saying, oh no, he's not. Because of that whole, his pervy side came out. At this point, Kurapika has not killed anyone. I think that's important to take note of. It seems like Killua is very used to killing, and Hisoka was the first one to get to the bottom of the tower. So this episode, I guess, could be considered the same as this one, but maybe a little less exciting, because that moment with Kurapika was very great. But it was like playing Sudoku, but, you know, at some point you kind of want, at least, I'm trying to give you a feel of what I mean. Like, it's fun to play Sudoku, but I at least want some good music playing in the background, like to enhance my mood while I play Sudoku. I don't know. I'm just trying to give a simile here, or like okay. Episode 11, Trouble with the Gamble. Short summary, Leorio ends up losing the Leroute in a bet, causing the team to get 50 hours penalty. So that's what I mean, like I thought he was smarter than he looks, and then he wasn't, because this happened and his pervy side kind of took over. And causing the team to get 50 hours penalty. Meanwhile, Killua must encounter Jonas, but without fear, Killua killed him in an instant. So I think this scene, without fear, Killua killed him in an instant, was very telling about his character, and it brings up a lot of interesting discussions, or I think it brought up a lot of interesting discussion, and I enjoyed that. Unanswered questions. How was Killua's body manipulated? Like, how can he do that with his nails? Like, that's why I'm a little confused. Like, some stuff seems like superhuman abilities, but other stuff doesn't. But with Killua, it doesn't really matter, because his family is fucking mental assassin people. Like, probably his body was enhanced through some kind of surgery or something. We don't know, but it's a power he has, and yeah, you just assume he has it. How will he be redeemed? And by that I mean, like, he's a child that has gotten used to killing, and I've already talked about this at length in the episodes, in my review parts, but just basically, he wants to be a normal kid, and my question is, will he ever come to that point? Can you become normal again after living a life of killing? Like, just summarized, okay? But I did talk about it in more detail in the videos. Notes: Leorio is the perv in the anime, lol. Jonas the Dissector, 146 people killed with his bare hands. Gitarakur, applicant 301, is the second to pass. Hanzo, applicant 297, is the third to pass. They have to spend 50 hours in a room. It seems like Killua looks up to his dad, but has a bad reputation, a bad relationship with his mother and brother. And see, here, I wrote a note that now makes me realize something. Like, now the scene with Killua and his dad later, when they actually talk and stuff, makes sense. And, like, that's something you can only realize upon your rewatch or reread of something. Like, I just wish people would have given me that time to come to this realization, to just watch the story and then look back and see, oh wow, and not try and push it down my throat. Like, tell me, well, actually that scene is really brilliant because da 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 da, and you can't say that it's not because da 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 da. Like, I don't know. I guess it's just like, up at this point, it just feels like the negativity is weighing more than the positivity, because it's easy to, like, I have to, there's always haters on the internet, and for the most part, it's easy to ignore them, especially when I can just, like, oh, I don't have time to argue with this person the way they're talking to me, I'm just going to delete the comment, because then I can use that minute that I was going to use to read and respond to him. I can not, well, I already read his comment by then, but then I could use that minute, and because the thing is, I'm going to say something and argue with him because he called me stupid, and then he's going to reply and I'm going to have to reply. Like, that wastes time, and sometimes I just delete the comments, and that makes it easy to ignore. But the thing is, it's easier to ignore when there's so much good in the anime, and with the fandom, the good outweighs the bad, so it's easy to ignore the bad because it's such a small part. But I don't know why, but with Hunter x Hunter, it's just the negativity is outweighing the positivity, and that's why I'm doing this video where I recap and just refocus so that I don't project that negativity onto the story. I want to now focus on the story and then rant a little bit about the negative fandom, and then explain why from now on I will be distancing myself from them so I don't feel that way again. Like, I want to just drop the anime, you know, or stop posting reactions, whatever. Episode 12, Last Test of Resolve. characters, none of importance that I can tell, like no new ones. Short summary. After spending 50 hours in a small room, which was probably the most boring thing I have seen in any anime ever. Like, there was no reason for you to put that in the fucking episode. It was so boring. Like, why? The pace is already slow. There's already not much comedy and stuff to make you laugh and, like, distract you from the fact that the pace is really slow. And then they go and put in just them waiting. Like, oh my god, I don't want to watch people wait. Sorry, but that episode, like, I remember feeling, like, really exasperated. Like, because it served no purpose. Unfortunately, they have to encounter a very difficult choice. Unanswered questions. Why did Tompa... Like, what happened in that episode? They waited, and then they encounter a very difficult choice. Like, why did Tonpa risk fighting at all if he doesn't want to be a hunter? Okay, well, I think the answer to that is just he has nothing better to do with his life. He's a sad man that just wants to crush rookies because he can't make his own dreams come true, so he has to destroy other people's dreams. And that has become his dream. Notes. It seems like in the next episode, they will be pitted against each other in brutal individual battles. 25... Oh, wait. Did they end up getting out in this episode? Okay, then the episode isn't... I can see how at least they got out by the end. Yeah. I have to admit, I remember watching someone sent me the 1999 episode, and I believe comparing the two scenes and how it played out in the end, the 1999 version was better, in my opinion. But that was after I watched this episode. Someone sent that to me. Okay, it seems like in the next episode, blah, 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 25 applicants have passed. Apparently, the events that happened during the 50 hours weren't shown in the manga. I wonder why they chose to include it in the anime. It was literally the most boring thing I've ever seen in any anime. So yeah, it was like, it wasn't even in the manga. They just decided to include it in the anime. Episode 14, hit the target. The fourth phase of the exam requires all examinees to draw lots, which determines who hunts who. This is a battle of predator versus prey. So the predator versus prey theme played a big role in the next couple of episodes, and I think I'm going to highlight that because it is something that I find interesting and I think could play a big role in future episodes and the rest of the story, and probably will give rise to a lot of conversations. Okay, no new unanswered questions that I could think of. Notes, only the fourth and fifth final phase remain. Target ID is worth 3 points, other ID is worth 1, blah, 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 blah. 24 applicants remain, and they're given a week. Okay, so in this episode, what happened? They go to the island. And the exam, I mean, this part of the exam is explained to them. Episode 15, short summary. Gon is able to perfect his technique to steal Hisoka's tag. He waits for days until the right time has come. Who is Gitarakur really? Notes, none. So you can see this part of the show is getting so slow. Like the thing is, it's not just slow for me. Like I said, it's kind of uninteresting too. Slow is fine if there's other things that keep me interested, but with this it wasn't really. And I understand that people who have finished the anime and are now rewatching, they're more interested because they feel differently about the story as a whole. So even more plain episodes have appealed to them because they feel differently about the anime than I am as a first-time viewer. And it's frustrating having to deal with those people who can't accept that someone doesn't feel the same way that they do about something yet. I haven't built up that kind of relationship with the story or the characters that I can watch them throw a fishing rod back and forth and actually find it interesting. There's another part where somewhere in this island, Zevil Island, where Gon meets up with Kurapika and Leorio, and they walk for a while, and they walk. They don't say anything. We see a few butterflies, we see grass, and they walk. Like, it's more than slow. It's just okay. Episode 16, Defeat and Disgrace. I think this is one of the better episodes in this Zevil Island thing. Gon continues hunting Hisoka, who runs into Leorio and Kurapika. Kurapika is able to talk Hisoka out of fighting them, but when Hisoka attacks another examinee, Gon sees his chance to take Hisoka's tag. Will we ever be shown Hisoka's past and what made him the kind of person he is now? Although Hisoka calls himself a magician, no magic tricks are shown in him. I think a patron, yes, according to a patron. A patron told me this. Although Hisoka calls himself a magician, no magic tricks are shown in the manga. But as the patron pointed out, in this episode, he performs 2 magic tricks. And even back when he killed that guy at the start of the exam, it also looked like a magic trick. A disappearing playing card act, as well as the multiplication of hemotropic butterflies. So he did do magic in this episode, even though nothing like that was shown in the manga. In the manga, Hisoka decapitates Gareta's head and carries it with him as he returns Gon's tags. In the anime, he merely kills Gareta and places his corpse beside Gon. So these are obviously, I think the patron told me. I just don't remember who it was. I remember talking to someone about this stuff, because I remember saying, like, I wish it was a little bit darker, some parts. Like, because it's so... I think I also read about that. This wasn't by a patron. I read about this online when I was researching the manga. I wish I could actually find it. It was like one of those websites where someone asks a question and then someone replies. And someone asked, should they watch the 1999 version or the 2011 version? And a person replied and said, and that's where I found out about the part at the start of the anime where something was left out that was concluded in the manga, but then in the anime they made it a flashback later. So it was in the same post. But anyway, this person said the time slot that this anime, the 2011 version, was given was... So the target audience was basically kids. And therefore, like, they can't do things like decapitate someone. And that's kind of a pity, because I think it would have given the show a little bit more edge, which is what I think it needs at this point. It needs a little bit of edge. In the manga, Hisoka decapitates blah 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 blah. Hisoka hits Gon in the face and says he'll take his tag back once Gon can do the same to him. So that this episode is really good. I really enjoyed it, and this part, it sets in motion a lot of other stuff that happens later. So yes. Episode 17. Now that I think about it, Gon didn't have a... He basically, thanks to Hisoka, passed this part in the exam. But if it wasn't thanks to Hisoka, he wouldn't have passed this part in the exam. And also, the last part of the exam, he only passed thanks to his own will and determination, but also Hanzo. So it's just weird that Gon doesn't want to use his hunter license until he can hit Hisoka in the face. He doesn't need to beat him, I guess, but he has to hit them in the face. And then he'll use his hunter tag. But that doesn't make him a real hunter by his own logic. If he thinks he's not a hunter because he didn't pass by his own merit, and he can only use his hunter license when he can hit Hisoka in the face. That should, if by that logic, that shouldn't be his only prerequisite for using his hunter license. He should also be able to, I don't know, fight Hanzo more equally because, you know, so I'll see how it plays out when he does one day hit Hisoka on the face, if he does. Episode 17, Trap in the Hole. None of importance that I can tell, no new characters. Short summary, Killua confronts the Aomori brothers and steals their tags while Hanzo is tailing them. Trailing them? I think it's tailing. Should be tailing. Meanwhile, Gon finds Leoria and Kurapika and helps them find Ponzu's hideout. Unfortunately, they are trapped inside the cave. So, okay. Differences, anime versus manga. In the manga, it is implied that Killua doesn't realize that Hanzo is watching him and the others from behind. I don't really understand this. This makes no... It seems that Hanzo snatches the badge 198 instead of 197 by his own mistake, though this is never actually stated. So, in the anime, Killua knew Hanzo was following, and he's the one that swapped the tags and threw it so that Hanzo would get the wrong one, I think. But based on this information given to me, in the manga, it is implied that Killua does not realize that Hanzo is watching him and the others from behind, and the reason he got the wrong tag was by his own mistake and not because Killua tricked him or whatever. So I don't really know what that says, but I think maybe it implies that Killua isn't stronger than Hanzo at this point. Hanzo could actually beat Killua, and I think that if that's true, it makes more sense, the manga version, than... I don't know why they had to change it in the anime, because they make it seem like Hanzo is below Killua when I don't think that's the case. But okay, episode 18, Big Time Interview. Short summary, Gon, Killua, Kurapika and Leorio managed to finish the 4th phase. They now move on to the final phase of the Hunter exam. What kind of peculiar fight did he have in mind for them? Obviously, it had something to do with the questions he asked. Okay, so the peculiar fight was just basically what we find out later. Everyone basically passes except the final person. Like, yeah, it's just a weird way to set up a fight. But I don't understand this episode. Like, it is, what even happened here? Was it just the interviews? Because then, like, see, stuff like that, I feel like they could have, the 29 episodes that I've watched up to now, I feel like it could have been like 24, 25 episodes max. They could have definitely squashed some things in together, and I will talk about that a little bit later when it comes to the final part of the video. Okay, episode 19, Can't Win and Can't Lose. Short summary. The remaining 9 applicants assemble at the site of the final phase of the Hunter exam. Gon faces Hanzo for the final phase of the Hunter exam. Okay, how much stronger is Hanzo than Gon? This whole fight, I found it really unique, and I want to actually highlight the picture. How do I highlight the picture? Can I do this? No, I can't. How do I highlight it? Gon faces Hanzo. The remaining 9 applicants assemble all at the site of the final phase. Okay, so the final phase, let's just highlight that. I find it really interesting how the fight is set up and that just one person can lose. At the same time, it's kind of convenient. Every year, like, it's apparently really difficult to how do I put this? It's apparently really difficult to pass the exam, but suddenly, like, 8 of them passes. But that is explained by Netero. He said that some years only one person passes, but other times a bunch passes at one time. And I understand that because it could be put down to, like, fate. Like, these strong people were, like, by some form of fate or magic or energy, you know, higher power pulled them together at the same time, and, you know, because their paths needed to have crossed, or their energies attracted each other like magnets. Like, I can understand that. Okay, although it did feel slightly convenient to me, at the same time, thinking back, I understand it. And like I would change my mind on a lot of things like this if people were like gave me the time to chew on the information at my own pace. Like I need to digest it myself, but instead of that, they kind of, like I said before, it's too often that people try and tell me, you feel wrong, this is what you should think. And it's just frustrating because I want to come to those conclusions by myself. Like, if people were just not so easy to get offended that I don't love it at the get-go, then I would come like to love it maybe slowly. Like not everyone falls in love bam like that. Anyway, Gon is the first applicant to pass the 287th Hunter exam. Okay. Episode 20, baffling turn of events. Killua kills Bodoro because of mind control, which immediately disqualifies him from the exam. Meanwhile, Gon confronts Illumi. So here basically we just find out what happens with the rest of everyone and that they passed. I was so excited to see the fights, and then it ends up like we didn't get to see anything. They just kind of summarized each fight and what happened, and it's kind of sad. I actually wish like that would have been more exciting to see, and yet they did the opposite of that. It could have been so exciting to flesh those fights out, but they ended up turning it into Sato's telling Gon what had happened. So it immediately gives it less edge. But I mean, that's their choice. Killua kills Bodoro because of mind control. So the mind control is still, I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure if it was mind control or what it was, but it seems to have been mind control. Okay, Bodoro was killed and everyone else except Killua passed the exam. Everyone except Killua passed the exam. Episode 21, some brother trouble. After Gon learned why Killua had been disqualified, he was furious with Gitarakur, or rather, Killua's older brother, Illumi. He was furious with Illumi. Okay, unanswered questions. The 10% of countries that limit immigration that hunters cannot enter with their license, why is that? What countries are there and how many? How many countries are in this world in total? What did Satots mean by saying the real hunter exam is not over yet? That is quite an important question in my opinion. I don't want to forget that. Who would buy the hunter license for so much if they can't use it? Out of the 7 who became hunters, I wonder which one, if any, will lose their card in the first year. Because they made a point to say, like 1 out of 5 people or something lose their cards within the first year. What was it that Hisoka whispered to Kurapika, and we later find out that it was the thing about the York and you and the blah blah blah. So what I enjoyed about this episode was the kind of information we received about the world, the countries and the immigration and that kind of stuff. Like it just sounds so interesting, and like it kind of deepens the, I don't want to say lore because maybe, is that the right word? What does that even mean? Lore. All the facts and traditions about a particular subject that have been accumulated over time through education or experience. Lore of the world. I don't know if that's the right word, but anyway. I think episode 20 and 21 could have been just one episode in terms of content, but there are a few episodes up to now I think could have been combined for the story to flow better, in my own opinion. And I'm definitely not the only person that thinks that, because people keep, like the other day someone was like, I don't want to pinpoint them because they already apologized and explained and blah blah blah, but I'm just gonna say what they said anyway, because they're not the first person to say that. Like, someone was like, it's like she wants to hate Hunter x Hunter. And it's like, no, it's not like I'm looking for things to hate. Like, that would be stupid. Obviously, it would make more sense for me to just enjoy it and love it and talk about it, because then people would enjoy watching with me maybe more, and they would be happier, and I wouldn't have to face all the fucking hate for just saying my opinion that isn't necessarily entirely positive. Like, I'm not looking for things to hate, but I am going to be honest with my opinion on the story. Like, that's my job. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not that kind of reactor that just fucking screams and hypes and it's excited because that's what people want to see. Like, no, that's not what I want to do on YouTube. Okay, so I'm gonna be honest, even if it means that I'm not praising it all the time. And I'm definitely not the only person that believes that. It's not like I'm looking for something to hate or whatever. There are definitely other people that have felt the same. And this is from someone called Gail on YouTube that commented, I don't know if comments like mine bother you, but I hope they don't, and I hope I can get your thoughts on this. I want to let you know that I acknowledge pretty much all of your criticism of the simplicity of Hunter x Hunter thus far. It was like a ... That's why I paused. Because the problem isn't just that it's slow-paced, but that it stretches the length of moments or scenes where nothing is really happening, such as when Kurapika, Leoria, and Gon are searching. That's the thing I was talking about, when they're searching the island. Did we need the montage to help set the atmosphere or something? Not really. Because there's no, like, it's just the walking, and it's not even exciting walking. It's just walking. Like, they're not... When, for example, and I hate to compare, but the reason I'm comparing will be very apparent later. There is, I remember watching a part of One Piece where they were also just walking, but there was so much going around. Luffy was looking at this, and then he was looking at this, and then he got grabbed by a thing and he went up, and then Sanji is making a joke, and then, like, you're laughing, like, it was also just walking, but there was so much to look at and pay attention to. Whereas that was just literally a montage of, like, walking on the grass, some grass blowing, just looking at the sky. Like, it's so boring. That's unnecessary. You don't need to show that. Anyway, did we need that montage to help set the atmosphere or something? Not really. Could the conflict with the snake guy have been resolved in this episode? Yeah, I easily think so. In fact, I think the first 26 episodes of Hunter x Hunter could be compressed into like 16 episodes. Okay, 16, like 10 episodes less, I'm not sure. But 26, like, I've watched 29 up to now. I think they could have done it in 24 episodes or even 23. And it'd have been better for it. I say all of this because I want you to trust me when I say that the show changes drastically for the better, and it's within this month or next month, judging from where you are on Patreon. I don't want you to drop the show, and I don't want you to continually dread having to watch it while you wait for something interesting to happen. It's not even that. It's just, if it's boring, that's fine, because I'm going to watch anyway because there are highlights and I'm looking forward to those moments. The only reason I was considering dropping reactions of it, because if I'm bored, I want to be able to say, oh, this episode kind of bored me. But I'm too scared to say anything because of the way people react. And, like, they're really fanatics. They're, that kind of people. There comes a time fairly soon where Hunter x Hunter is no longer about characters being put in simple, relatively boring conflicts, that the last 2 episodes when that conflict could have been resolved in half an episode. And the stakes, action, complexity of the storyline, etc. all improve dramatically. So yeah, I hope this comment didn't bother you. I look forward to seeing your thoughts on the show. I'm in it for the long haul. Thank you, Gail. See, Gail is clearly a fan of the show, but he's not blind towards how some people may not enjoy every single aspect of it. And he's okay with me saying that. He doesn't get defensive and call me stupid or ignorant and tells me to drop the show or those kinds of things, you know? And the worst part, I was going to talk about it later, but I might as well just mix it all in. The worst part is when, I copied and pasted the comment. I don't want to flame anyone, because some of these people are actually my patrons, and that's what really gets to me. Like, that people, because I usually trust my patrons. I have a closer relationship with them because I allow them, like, onto my Discord and I hang out with them, and I'm like 100% myself with them, even though I'm 100% myself on YouTube too. But it's just more intimate with patrons, you know. And so I don't want to risk showing anyone's name because I don't want to flame them. Because to some people I actually address them and I tell them, excuse me, I don't think it's okay to say that. And some of those arguments have happened on Discord in a public chat, and then I'll say, like, I'm not okay with the way you said that, and then we'll talk it out, and then I'll apologize. But I still want to bring up some of the stuff that are said, not because I want to not because it hasn't been resolved, it has, and I barely remember who said it unless I look at the name, but I don't want to flame them or anything. I just want to say, like, this is the kind of stuff I have to deal with, not just from one person. That happened to have happened recently in the public chat, but these are things that every day people DM me, people comment, and then where is it? Here, like when someone does this. The pacing of Hunter x Hunter is perfect. You can't talk about pacing because you watch One Piece, which has the worst pacing in the world, and also Dr. Stone is so slow and boring. These anime are shit compared to Hunter x Hunter. Why do you have to, like, we're talking about, we're talking about Hunter x Hunter, and I'm sharing my opinion on the pace. There's not much going on, not much keeping me interested. That's how this episode made me feel. That's my job. I react to the anime. If you're not interested in my honest thoughts, you stop watching after the reaction, okay? If you want to hear my honest thoughts, I'm going to tell you how I felt in that episode. I'm not going to lie and say, this was such a peaceful episode. It made me feel so calm, and I'm so interested to see where it's going to go next. Like, I'm not going to lie. I'm going to say this episode really bored me, and I hope that the next one is more exciting. And I'm going to watch the preview because sometimes that excites me, and I'm like, oh my god, we get to see that person. Yeah, I can't wait for the next one. Whereas I might not have felt that. If the anime wanted to give me this preview and make me excited for the next episode, that was the anime's choice, and this is my journey with the anime. So I've explained this before, I choose to watch the preview. I talked about this exact thing at the end of my My Hero Academia video today, actually. But I'll just recap again what I said. People kept telling me, stop watching the previews. And I said, and I explained politely, I actually really enjoy watching the previews because it hypes me up for the next episode. It's part of the journey of watching the anime. It's how, like, that's what the anime wanted to show me. So that's what I'm gonna watch, you know? Because it's the full experience, and I choose to have that. I choose it, okay? So now there are people telling me not to watch it, and I said, excuse me, I appreciate it, but actually it builds my hype, and I'm gonna continue to watch it. And then there are people still telling me, you're contradicting yourself because you keep watching the preview, you should stop because da 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 da. And I'm like, no, I already talked about this. I want to watch it. I'm not contradicting myself, because if people drop hints in the comments, that's different from, like, in a manga. When you read a manga, right? The author drops hints, and you can figure stuff out sometimes before the actual reveal. In One Piece recently, when something happened, a hint was dropped, and suddenly everything made sense, and I actually figured out the whole reveal just before it was revealed. And that was such a great experience to have. Like, oh my god, it makes sense. Da, 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 da. And then 5 minutes later, it actually happened. I was like, oh my god, I was right. It was such a great experience because the anime drops hints, so you can figure it out. But you don't have to. It will do the reveal eventually, right? And that's the difference. Like, saying I can't watch the preview is like saying I'm not allowed, like, the mangaka shouldn't include any hints because what if the person figures it out before the reveal? That's part of the fucking journey, because that's what the mangaka chose to include. That's what the anime chose to include. If I want to watch it, if I want to figure it out, if I want to theorize when I see, oh my god, that person is showing up, I wonder what they're going to do, I wonder what they're going to say, I wonder how they're going to react to what happened in this episode, blah, blah, blah. Like, that's part of the fun. But now, it's completely different from someone dropping hints in the comment section. It's completely different than that spoiler. The anime review, like, showing a preview, in my opinion, I enjoy it. And it just frustrates me that I have to keep defending, like, if I had to do it 5 times, fine. But on every single video that I post, now I have to restate everything I've already said before. The whole spiel about what I'm doing now, I have to do it every single time. Do you know how much time that wastes? I'm so tired. Can you not just let me watch it? Because I've talked about it before. You could not have not heard me say before, I enjoy watching, because in Hunter x Hunter, it makes me hype for the next episode. I don't choose to do it for every anime. For One Piece, for example, I don't watch the opening songs until I can, like, because sometimes opening songs are spoiler. But for other anime, I don't care. I just watch the opening song, and because I choose to do that. Like, it's my choice at the end of the day. And it's not your choice to decide for me what I should watch, when I should watch it, how I should watch it. Like, if I ask you, hey guys, which 2 episodes do you think would go really well together? I have time for 4 that day. Which 4 should I, like, how should I aim, blah, 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 something like that. I don't know. If I ask you for tips or help, or then fine. But don't comment every single time I post to tell me, don't do that, think that, feel this. It's like really frustrating because, and people can tell me all the time, oh, just ignore them. Like, no, if I ignore everyone, then I should just stop reading comments altogether, and I don't want to do that. I really care to read comments. I just wish more people would, like, when you comment, don't tell me what to do, how to feel. Like, tell me, how did you enjoy it? What did you feel? But don't, attack my thoughts and my feelings. Okay, rant over. I'm just sharing this to defend myself from people saying things like, it's like she wants to hate Hunter x Hunter. Clearly, I'm not the only person who feels this way. Even people who are big fans of Hunter x Hunter feel the same way. So it's not that I'm trying to look for things to not like. I find it ridiculous that someone would even think that. I might come to love the show just as much later, despite the slow pacing at the beginning. But most people aren't giving me the opportunity to have that journey of coming to love something more down the line, because of how much they can't handle me not loving every aspect of Hunter x Hunter right away. They defend it to the point where they say things like, it's like she wants to hate Hunter x Hunter, and those kinds of comments is what makes it even more difficult for me to enjoy the experience. Because what happens is, for example, in the comment section or in my Discord, the public chat, one person says something like that, and whether they mean it as a joke or not, then other people chip in and people start bitching about my reactions and how I do them, and I'm not paying enough attention. Yeah, she does that. Yeah, da, da, da. And then it becomes this whole negative fucking, let's shit on Katie day. Let's talk about why she isn't enjoying it, because she's doing this, because she's not doing that. And I'm like, I'm not enjoying it because it's slow paced and there's nothing else keeping me interested right now, and that's how I feel. Like, if I come to love it later, then I will. But there's a lot of other people that felt the same way. So telling me that I'm watching it wrong and that's why I'm not enjoying it, and then getting together in your little group and talking about, oh, your face makes it look like you're looking for something to hate, or like that kind of stuff. I know that I'm sorry I'm saying these things because I know that person already apologized to me because we did talk it out. But I'm just saying, that's why it bothers me, because, and that's why I can't ignore it, because it becomes this little, this little group of elitist Hunter x Hunter fans that kind of have a laugh about how ignorant I am because I don't see the greatness of it yet. And I can see those things happening. It's in my comment section. It's in my Discord chat. Like, it's not like I'm not there. So obviously it will bother me, and that makes it very difficult to enjoy each episode, because it's like, those kinds of little groups are in my head, and I can hear them say these things and already go on about, how ignorant I am, and, oh, she doesn't, dry lemon. Okay, back to the actual notes. Oh god, is anyone even still listening to me? But it's fine, even if no one is listening to me. The video is already 1 hour and 23 minutes long. Even if no one is listening to me, like, this is part of my Hunter x Hunter experience. I am venting it out, dealing with my emotions, so that next Wednesday when I watch the next 3 episodes, I have processed my negative emotions. They have been let out, and I can refocus and enjoy it again, because I've already talked about it, So it's not pent-up feelings anymore. It's been released, and I can approach it in a new way. So even if no one listens, at least this is helpful for me and my experience. Okay, so this is just what the Hunter license gets you. It allows you to enter 90% of the countries that limit immigration, as well as 75% of the restricted areas of the world. So that's quite interesting. What restricted areas? The world building in these last... it's not even building yet. It's just telling us the potential of this world and how much it could build, how much world building could happen, like restricted areas of the world, 90% of the countries that limit immigration. Like it's giving us a feel of what the world is like, you know. It also provides free access to 95% of public facilities, which is insane, and a line of credit that rivals large corporations. 1 in 5 hunters lose their card within a year of receiving it. As a hunter, you see 1 in 5 hunters. So out of the 7 that passed, I wonder if any one of them will lose it in the first year. As a hunter, your first challenge is to protect your card. Killua went to Kukuru Mountain. Illumi seems to be afraid of Hisoka. Does that mean Hisoka is stronger than Illumi? Gon is my prey, quote by Hisoka. Pink Hat says it's his dream to be an exotic game hunter. I forget his name. Gon's father's name is Ging Freaks, which was already revealed, but for some reason I wrote it again. Satots, I happen to specialize in the discovery, restoration, and preservation of ancient ruins. This seems to be what Gon's dad does. Oh, and there's a little cameo. Some of these episodes I actually went through them again to make notes, because I kind of didn't make notes for each episode, because sometimes they were too boring and I was like, I don't have anything to say. And for this video, I was like, okay, I'm gonna at least make a summary of what the episode was even about. So I went through some episodes again and I saw that you could see her, it's that girl, the one that was, she didn't make it, right? She didn't become a hunter. Okay, episode 22, A Dangerous Watchdog. The title of the episode is dedicated to a dog that does pretty much nothing by the end of the episode. Was it really that important that an episode needed to be named after it? I'm sorry, I'm getting a little frustrated with the pace again, because at this point I was going through the episodes. I just feel like some things that get focused are hyped up for no reason, and that ends up wasting time. Like, there's a lot of build up. For example, for the butler guy, Goto, there's so much build up for him, and then he fucking does a coin trick, and it's over. Like, so much build up for the Zoldyck family, and then they just leave with nothing. And then there are people in the comment section telling me why that's actually brilliant, and you know, I'm like, okay, I get you love the story, and literally you'll find anything brilliant, and you'll find a reason for it to be brilliant at this point, because what they're saying, like, it subverts what did the guys from Game of Thrones says? They wanted to divert or subvert your expectations or some shit. Like, it's fine, like, if it doesn't do what you expect, but to have a build up, and then, like, imagine foreplay for an hour, and then you don't have sex, and then the person says, whoops, sorry, gotta go to work, and then you're just fucking lying there. You're like, what? You really? Like, imagine that. It doesn't feel good. And it's like, oh, actually, I wanted to subvert your expectations. I was totally building you up, like I was gonna give you, like, the best night of your life, and then I didn't. Bam, I'm so cool. I subverted your no. You don't no. Like, you need to, then there has to be some payoff. You can't just build up and then what? And you can say for you, oh, it's interesting because it subverted my I don't think that's the word. Subvert is not the word, but you know the word I'm using, because the guys from Game of Thrones kept saying that. We wanted to something your expectations. Can I Google it? Subvert. Is it subvert? Undermine? Wait. Game of Thrones expectations. They wanted to divert? Subvert. It is subvert. While Game of Thrones earned popularity for its willingness to subvert audience expectations, like when they built up this character from Game of Thrones, oh my god, this guy looks like the main character. Boom, he died. Like, that is how you subvert expectations. It's a build up, and then he died. But it's fucking mind blowing. Like, what? He died? It's still exciting. No, it's not. That's not the same thing as, oh my god, the Zoldyck family. Nothing. No one died. No, there was no fight. There was nothing. Like, that is like literally. Okay, now I'm going on a bit about this, and I'm already seeing the flaming comments. But I just really like. To me, that's Game of Thrones. What it did in the beginning. That's subverting expectations. There was still a payoff. But to me, a lot of the things that they build up so many things, and then it's just like, oh my god, I'm having the most vile similes in my head. But imagine like doing it and being in the moment, and then the person just gets up and leaves. Subverted your expectations, didn't I? Leave and never come back. That's what you did there. Subverting expectations in a good way would be like having sex, and then boom, another girl super hot walks in, and like bam, you didn't expect that to happen. Now there's 3 of them. No, I'm joking. Now I'm just making jokes. Because there's at least it's like a build up, and then something else happens that you didn't expect, and it subverts your expectations. But there's still a payoff. Okay, and I'll continue. Characters that we met in this episode. Oh wait, I was still reading that. I just feel like some things that get focused are hyped up for no reason, and that it ends up wasting time that could have been used to progress the story in some other way. Maybe the dog plays a role in the future again and poses some kind of real threat, and this serves as a foreshadowing of that. But like, really, episode 22, a dangerous watchdog that did nothing. But I'm gonna get to something. Let me get to something. The summary is: Gon Kurapika and Leorio arrive at Kukuru Mountain and are welcomed by its servants and watchdog. Unanswered questions. How do people come in contact with the Zoldycks to get them to assassinate people? That's just a curious question that I have. And in general, I just like to know more about the Zoldycks and their past. Okay, so here is the thing that I wanted to say about this whole dog and build-up and Goto and Zoldyck family, whatever. All these build-ups that kind of end up leading nowhere. This is just an example of something that might be an explanation for other things too. Let's talk about it. I heard that in the 1999 anime, Leorio accidentally entered through the false gate. So things happened differently in the 1999 anime. I'm not sure if it's different in the manga, because I didn't ask too much. But Mike hunted the dog, the dangerous dog, actually hunted down Leorio, but was diverted by Gon, whom he chased next. Mike cornered Gon on a cliff, but a whistle stopped him in time. Later, he was seen being tamed by a Zoldyck, the little one with black hair. I wonder why they didn't include this. It would have been more exciting, and the episode being named after the dog would actually have made sense. I think I need to watch the 1999 version. Maybe I like it more. But apparently I can't do that, because I did say that to the person. Like, maybe I should just watch the 1999 version. And then they said I can't do that because there wasn't content to base it off anymore with the manga. They made an ending that works for that anime. But now they're rebooting it, and because there was more content eventually, so I can't just watch the 1999 version. Okay, episode 23, The Guard's Duty. Characters: Kaluto, Kikyo, Miluki, and Canary. Short summary. After successfully opening the testing gate on their own, Gon, Kurapika, and Leorio continue their way to find Killua, but then are stopped by another servant. There's another something here that was different from the anime or manga or the two animes. I should actually find out if is it different just from the 1999 version, or is it different from the manga? But anyway, unanswered questions. Why is it so easy for those employed by the Zoldyck family to go against their wishes? Why was Canary just knocked out and not killed for insulting the Zoldyck family? I expected them to be more ruthless, or the consequences to be more severe. Why does Canary care so much for Killua? Where is Meteor City? So there's just some stuff that I thought about. Some members of the Zoldyck family has white hair, while others have black hair. That's a note. And here's the difference that I think is kind of this. Why did they change this? Why? Kurapika and Leorio didn't try to open the testing gate at the same time. Instead, both Gon and Kurapika managed to open one gate each, while Leorio even managed to open two. Why on earth would you change that? It makes a big difference in my opinion, and I don't understand the reason. Like, Leorio is known as like this weak character at the start compared to the others, but at this point he must have trained harder than the others to have gotten that strong. Like, why change it? Kind of, I don't know, a moment for him. Okay, the Zoldyck family, this is just the screenshot. 5 adults and 5 children from the left. This is Illumi. This is Miluki, both brothers. This looks like the grandfather that was talking to Miluki. This is the grandfather, Zeno. Silva, the father. No idea about these two. This is Kirua. Then there's a little girl, but I don't know. You can't just assume people are girls anymore in this anime because it looks like they are holding Kilua's hand, so they must be close, but we didn't get to meet them or them. Then Kikyo is the mother, and then this little girl was with the mother the whole time. With Canary's help, Gon and his friends are getting closer to the mansion. Meanwhile, Kilua had a talk with Silva, his father, and is finally allowed to see his friends. Even though he wasn't not allowed at the really from the start, because he could have broken out whenever he wanted, but he went back. I still don't understand why he went back. Did his brother mind fuck him? What? Mind control him to go back? And how long did it last? When did it unmind control? And why didn't he... the dynamic of the family is quite strange. But it's still... they're just a more normal family than I expected, because the people were so afraid of them and the build-up was so big. I expected them to be more ruthless, but they seem like kind of a normal family that just so happens to be assassins. I'd just like to know more about the Zoldyck family in general, including who the unknown silhouettes are. Why does the mother have a visor? Why did the family make Kilua come home just to let him go again? I guess because there's... like, the family doesn't agree on everything. Some of them wanted him to come home, others didn't want him to come home, or they just wanted... instead of him running away, his dad maybe wanted him to have permission so that he's still on good terms, so that he can come home one day if he wants to. I guess that's the reason. The mother's face must be in bandages because of Kilua's attack. Silva makes a deal with Kilua: never betray your friends. I think it would have been cool if, maybe I missed it, but if wasn't he also the one that, because Kilua apologized to him about attacking him, so it would have been cool if he also had bandages, but, because I mean, her whole face was bandaged. Like, I don't know if I missed his bandages, but anyway. Okay. Episode 25, can't see if you're blind. Goto, not sure if I wrote down his name before, none of the others that I can tell. Kilua heads to the butler's quarter after he is set free. Not long after that, Gon and the others arrive too without knowing that Kilua is already there. Goto then invites them to play a coin guessing game. Why was there such a big build up for Goto, and yet all he did was play a coin trick on them, and where is York New City? Notes, Kurapika says Hisoka will show up at York New City, as well as the group who massacred the Kurta clan. So that's what's going to happen there. The group will meet again on September 1st at York New City. Gon and Kilua decide to go to Heaven's Arena. Okay, that's until where I'm going to read my notes for now. There are still notes for episode 27, 28, and 29. But I'm not going to, because the video is already 1 hour and 39 minutes long, and I just quickly wanted to go through what I'm planning to do for patrons in the future. How am I going to approach this so that I don't get, because me ranting about people and how they share their opinion that I should feel differently and think differently and love and appreciate the masterpiece that is Hunter x Hunter. That's not going to change. So how am I going to approach it? I just quickly wanted to, let me just make sure no one's names are revealed here. I did tweet about it, and I asked, because I was feeling really like fed up, and I tweeted Super Mecha Frieza because I know that she also watched Hunter x Hunter, and she follows me and I follow her, so I was like, I hope she'll see the tweet and reply, and she's the only one that I know about that also watched it, that might actually respond. Did you also have issues with Hunter x Hunter? The fandom, when you were watching, a big portion of the fandom is being really derogatory towards me just because I'm not constantly praising the show and saying how much I love every moment. I feel like I want to drop it entirely, and by that I just meant stop posting reactions. She said, yes, unfortunately, it will also get worse the farther you get into it, but honestly, don't let that discourage you because it's an amazing show. I hit a point where I was just over the comments and almost dropped it, but then decided I was going to stick it out and finish it. I'm glad I did. Okay, so she also had issues with the fandom, and the reason I'm saying this is just because there are a few people. There's one person that commented on the last Hunter x Hunter video on YouTube and said, I've never seen a toxic Hunter x Hunter fan, just toxic people complaining about Hunter x Hunter fans. And that person commented on a few comments, and like on one of my mods' comments, they were saying something nice about me, and then that person replied and said, wow, you're really laying it on thick, aren't you? Like those kinds of comments. And it's like he's going through all the comments. On another comment, I remember him saying he was one of the people that said, I should stop posting reactions because I don't understand the masterpiece that is Hunter x Hunter. Like, those are like it's so funny. I replied to one of his comments and said, the reason you've never seen a toxic Hunter x Hunter fan is because you are a toxic Hunter x Hunter fan. Like, the kind of fan that tells me to drop it just because I don't love every aspect right now, even though there's a lot in the story that I love. I'm very interested in the whole Nen thing. I'm interested in the characters' backstories and how, like I said, I love the characters and where they're gonna go. There's a lot that I love about it, and there's some parts of it that I don't really enjoy that much, and then I think they could have done better. It's not even that I think it's bad, it's just like I think that could have been done better, in my opinion, and I'll say that because I'm allowed to. And then someone like that coming in and saying, you should just drop it, or you should stop posting reactions because you don't understand what a masterpiece this is. I'm fucking 29 episodes into an anime that is 148 episodes long. Like, this is my first time viewing it. You don't have to be like that kind of jerk, you know? Someone else tweeted and said, the Hunter x Hunter fandom or parts of it is like, you'll tweet and say, oh my god, Fire Force is the best anime of the year. And obviously that is not an objective tweet. You know when you're saying, people should know when you're saying that. For me, like, why would you need to specify, for me, Fire Force is the best anime of 2019? Like, obviously it's an opinion, obviously. And then a Hunter x Hunter fan, not all Hunter x Hunter fans, but some would reply, it's not as good as Hunter x Hunter. Or something like that. I don't remember the tweet, but that's the vibe I get from so many fans, and it's so irritating. Like, okay, it's not what I was talking about, but okay. Here is another post from someone who posted Hunter x Hunter reactions on Patreon. I don't know who the person is, but the person who tweeted the screenshot was Himanshu Tandon, and they said, I remember there was a similar post on Patreon. Oh, this was from Super Mecha Frieza. Oh, this was Super Mecha Frieza's post. The post says, toxicity in the Hunter x Hunter. Well, to start out, thanks to those who spoiled my fun theory. I honestly was enjoying myself in my reactions, and this just proved exactly why I started doing just 2 episodes a reaction. I honestly don't know what to do anymore. I end up deleted a lot of extremely rude comments, and it's just making me not want to watch Hunter x Hunter anymore. We'll see. Thank you to those who actually provide constructive criticism and aren't extremely rude about it. Like, that was her response, and that's exactly how I feel now. So people telling me that, oh, you should just ignore it. Oh, there are no toxic Hunter x Hunter fans. Like, I'm not the only person who has experienced exactly this. And then to the people, this is something kind of separate, but to the people who said, that this comment, the pacing of Hunter x Hunter is perfect. You can't talk about pacing because you watch One Piece, which has the worst pacing in the world, and also Dr. Stone is so slow and boring. These anime are shit compared to Hunter x Hunter. Like, that, I wasn't comparing it, but okay, since you're comparing it, like, I just went to take a look at chapter 44, and just hear me out. At chapter 44 of Dr. Stone, we were on episode 17 of the anime, okay? So episode 17 had included everything up to chapter 44. So that is more or less 2.5 chapters per episode. One Piece, on chapter 44, in episode 20 of One Piece, we were on chapter 44. So Dr. Stone was already at episode 17 by chapter 44. One Piece was on chapter 20 was on episode 20 by chapter 44, which is 2.2 chapters per episode. So Dr. Stone adapted 2.5 chapters in every episode. One Piece up to episode 20, chapter 44. I don't know about fucking after episode 200. Don't talk to me about that, because I'm just talking about what I've experienced up to now. So 2.2 chapters per episode for One Piece up to chapter 44. And then Hunter x Hunter, episode 27 was only, chapter 44 was adapted in 27 episodes, whereas One Piece had 20 episodes by chapter 44, and Dr. Stone had 17 episodes by chapter 44. 17 episodes, you know? Am I making sense? So it took Dr. Stone 2.5 chapters per episode to get to episode 17, which incorporated 44 chapters. One Piece, 2.2 chapters per episode, 20 episodes to include 44 chapters. Hunter x Hunter was on episode 27 to include chapter 44 chapters, and it was more or less 1.6 chapters per episode. So out of the three that person was bitching about, just because I said I'm not enjoying Hunter x Hunter's pace at sometimes, it's a little bit stretched out more than it needs to be. I didn't say One Piece is so much better. The pacing is so, I know One Piece's pacing is slow. I talk about it often in the Skypia arc, but then I say the comedy makes it so worth it. I'm always entertained despite the slow pace. Like, it's not like I'm denying it has slow pace, but this person is literally like, the pacing of Hunter x Hunter is perfect. You can't talk about pacing because you watch One Piece, which has the worst pacing in the world. Like, okay, dude. And I'm not saying it's not true. Like, I'm not that far into One Piece. I heard it gets slower, but I'm just saying where I'm at right now, I wasn't even comparing. Why do you have to break down other anime just because I'm saying, like, I'm not a fan of the pace? Like, I'm being so polite about it. I try to be really polite. It's just that when people start attacking me, I start being rude because, like, they're being rude, so I feed off their energy. But it's not a really good comparison technically, because the content of the manga could, like, one chapter in One Piece might contain more or less information than one chapter of Dr. Stone. So this isn't an accurate, but I just wanted to give you an idea. Like, you can't say that like, that kind of comment from that person is just, at this point where I'm at, and based on what I was saying, it's just unnecessary. Like, why do I have to deal with stuff like that? And then this person also tweeted and said, honestly, it's the same with every big anime fandoms. People will say the same about One Piece. The best thing to do is just try to ignore them. But then I said, I've had similar experience with the My Hero Academia fandom and the Attack on Titan fandom. But in most fandoms, the positive outweighs the negative. With Hunter x Hunter, at this point, with Hunter x Hunter, it's like when I reached season 3 of Attack on Titan. The negative is starting to outweigh the positive. And that's why I did this video, like I said before, because I just wanted to Sorry, let me just scroll down here. There we go. What was I saying? I totally just blanked. I was saying... Oh, I did this video because I just wanted to feel free for a moment to talk about all my opinions unfiltered and vent about the people who bitch about me sharing my opinions. And I wanted to process these negative emotions, let it out, so that when I start Hunter x Hunter again on Wednesday, the next 3 episodes, I can just, you know, feel that I can keep being honest. I don't have to tiptoe. I don't have to be worried about what people are going to say. And how am I going to distance myself? What I did with Attack on Titan was I disabled comments because it just turned up into... Because people started arguing, and they argued with me, and they argued with each other, and my mods were like tired of people spoiling on purpose. Like, they were making arguments basically, and it's happened once or twice with Hunter x Hunter too, where people, they want to like argue with me like about the pacing, and then they either compare it to other stories that I'm watching and say, oh, but that's worse, or they say you see in this arc, and then they say the arc's name, and I'm like, honestly, don't argue with me, because you're clearly caught up and you've watched this like probably 5 times by now. So it's your opinion on it is coming from a completely different place than my opinion. So it's so difficult to even talk about it at this point, you know? And that's why I kind of, at first I thought maybe I could watch it in my own time, finish it, and then post reactions. But I know that's going to irritate people, because it's going to take me 2 months, 3 months to finish it. I can tell you exactly when I'm going to finish it, actually. I'm going to watch 3 episodes of Hunter x Hunter every Wednesday. I will be finishing it with that pace, 3 episodes every Wednesday, once a week, basically. I'm going to watch episode 147 and 148 on the 12th of August next year. So here's my schedule. That's not gonna be, oops. There we go. I have a schedule that shows all the anime that I'm planning to watch up to August, which is when I'm going to finish Hunter x Hunter. So that would be, I know, who would want to wait that long for my reactions? So I knew that that's not going to work. So I decided, how do I distance myself from the fandom so that they don't influence my opinion, and I can just kind of have my experience unfiltered. I can just, you know, not like something, maybe come to like it later, not know something, figure it out later myself. I want to have that experience without people jumping down my throat because I don't get it, I don't see that, I don't pay enough attention, I shouldn't pull my face like that, I should do this, I should do that. So how am I going to distance myself from the fandom? I thought like, okay, I'm not even going to turn off my comments on YouTube, because with Attack on Titan I've learned you can do that, but people are going to still look, they're going to go on to other videos and comment, you know, and then my mods aren't going to see those comments maybe, because they're going to go maybe onto an old video and then bitch and moan about my comments being turned off for that video. So I'm just going to, and this is for my patrons, and I don't mean to be rude, but my patrons are a big source. Lots of the newer patrons that joined just for Hunter x Hunter, you guys are kind of the big problem here. I can ignore YouTube comments by now. It's kind of like water off a duck's back. I see YouTube viewers, for the most part, the toxic ones, they're just trolls. They don't think anyone knows, or they don't think half the time I'm even going to read the comments. But patrons know I'm going to read it. Patrons direct it directly at me, you know? And I want to distance myself from them. And if I can just do that, that's going to take a huge weight off my shoulders. So what I'm going to do from now on is, patrons, every Thursday, there's going to be new videos. I'm watching them on Wednesday, but I watch them with a timer, so Mike needs time to edit and re-upload. So by Thursday night, at the latest on Friday, but Mike is never late, so it's just like in emergencies. But every Thursday you can check the document. I'm gonna tell you where to get the document in a second. Every Thursday, check the document. You don't have to, we're gonna have to check emails, to check Patreon, check Discord. So you don't have to check any of those things anymore. Just check the Google Doc, the Hunter x Hunter Google Doc. There is gonna be a document for that with all my reactions. You can check it every Thursday. Where can you find it? I actually thought like making I just made a specific document for Hunter x Hunter, but now I realize maybe you just, because there is a Google Doc that has all my reactions in, but Hunter x Hunter was all the way at the bottom, so that's why I made a specific Hunter x Hunter document, because there are so many new patrons that are just there for Hunter x Hunter. Like, they don't care about any of the other. Like, just the other day, one of those people that are just there for Hunter x Hunter, they've already apologized though, but I'm not even going to get into that conversation again, but the patrons that were there in the chat, you remember what happened. And that's why I decided, if you're just here for Hunter x Hunter, there's your Hunter x Hunter document. You can have it. I'm gonna update it whenever. And I think what I'm gonna do is, because that Google document, I don't want to make a new one every month. So I feel like, should I make a new one every month? Because it might take 10 minutes, but 10 minutes is 10 minutes. So I don't know if I'm going to change it every month. Because what I can do is, like, you can, if you pledge to me once, if you're a level 2 patron once, then you can have the document and you can check it every Thursday and you can get the new videos. Like, I don't mind that being a thing. But I don't know how my other patrons feel about that, because they remain patrons. But if they remain patrons, they get a bunch of other content. Like, let me see here. They get One Piece, Berserk, Railgun, Haikyuu, Higurashi, Monogatari series, Ushio and Tora. Okay, Steins Gate is finished. Tokyo Ghoul, Gate, Gintama. I'm starting, what am I starting soon? JoJo, I'm starting JoJo's, the Bizarre Adventure, Sword Art Online. So I feel like I'm gonna have like you can become a patron. For those of you that are patrons, you just go to my full reactions document. I make a new one every month of that, so that people that unpledge, like, they can't get all the new videos and just check the document. You have to stay a patron to get the full reactions, right? So if you just check on the full reactions document, on the index page, where do you get the full reactions document? It is on my, what's this month? November update. I post it at the start of every month, so all new patrons should have it. I post it in the on my Discord, in the Patreon chat, in the pinned comment. You can find the link there. So it's literally found everywhere, and it includes all my full reactions that I've done up to November, up to this month. And every day I add new videos. When it's December, I'll make a new one, a new document, and then I'll just update that one, and then I'm gonna post a December update post, and I'm going to change the link that's in the Discord, in the Patreon chat, so you will always get the new link every month. But if you only care about Hunter x Hunter, you become a level 2 patron. If you want the full reactions for YouTube, I'm going to post the timer videos every other day, 2 per week. If you want 3 full reactions with screen every Thursday, just get the freaking link for the full reactions doc. Go down on page, here it's page 3, and then it says page 27 Hunter x Hunter, but you don't have to go to page 27. That is where the videos was. But now you just, let me show you. See, here's the full reactions document. It says here, welcome, blah, blah, blah. And you go scroll down to here, you see here? And then you click it. I don't want to click it now because you click it, and then it takes you to the Hunter x Hunter document, and then you bookmark that, and then I'm gonna update that every Thursday, and you're gonna get 3 new full reactions. It's no hassle for you. It's just that I don't want to, I don't want anyone, like, I don't even want to be exposed to comments anymore. I don't want to see people argue about, I don't want to see one person commenting, she should pay more attention, and then another person commenting this, and then another person commenting that, and then there's a person defending me. Oh, that's nice, but that's so drama. I'm just tired of that. So yeah, then you bookmark this and you check it every Thursday. Put an alarm on your phone, whatever. That's how I'm gonna do it from now on. I'm just gonna distance myself from the fandom. I might check YouTube comments every now and again, because usually I'm 10 or to 15 episodes ahead anyway, so I don't really know what most of the comments are about, complaining about, because I don't even remember what happened in that episode necessarily. But yes, that's how I'm gonna do it from now on. If what I just said is unclear, DM me for the link. Ask me if you can't find it. If you don't, but I mean seriously, just find the update post. There's even a tag on Patreon that you click updates, and then it takes you to all my update posts, and then you just check the last one, October update. The link is in there, with a lot of other useful information for my patrons. Or just check on the Discord in the Patreon chat, pinned comment. There is the link to the full reactions document. Check page 3, Hunter x Hunter. Oh, okay, click, open the document to the full, bookmark it and keep it. I don't even think I'm going to make a new one every month. Like, if you pledge to me once, level 2 or 3, whatever you want, if you pledge to me once, I think you can just keep it. Because I'm like done, you know? So if you want, pledge next month, and then you get, wait, where am I going to be? On the 25th of December, I'm going to post episodes. Well, I don't know about then, because what if Mike can't edit the videos on the 25th of December? Like, because it's Christmas. I'm not going to expect him to work on Christmas. Like, I can't afford to pay him overtime. So for exceptional or exceptions like that, you may get them 2 or 3 days late. But okay, let's try a different date. The 18th of December. I'm gonna watch 44, 45, and 46. So go pledge in December, level 2. You can get up to episode 46, and then if you want, unpledge. And I don't even think I'm gonna change the document. If I do, I don't know. I'll talk up to my patrons, because right now I just feel like I don't care. I don't even care, as long as I don't have to talk to anyone anymore. I understand that it sucks, because it feels like I'm cutting off the people that actually they didn't comment shit like this. They didn't make me feel this way. But that's okay, because the rest of you are on Discord, and you can still, you know, if you know the stuff that you said was never like that, talk to me in the anime chat on Patreon. Talk to me via DM if you want. Like, I'm sure you know the kind of person that you are, and if you didn't say those things, like, but even that, because yesterday and the day before, there were people that stuff like that, drama, and I just felt like I just spent 40 minutes defending my opinion. But yesterday, what happened yesterday was okay, because a lot of people was there, and everyone was saying, like, everyone was kind of standing up for me, and I really appreciated that. So that wasn't so bad. But it took 40 minutes of my time being there, and I don't know. I really want to be very involved in the community and stuff. It's just some anime is a more effort than it's worth, you know? Especially when it's easier to be involved in a community if you love, like with One Piece. I love a lot of parts about One Piece. I guess there's some stuff that I complain about, maybe Nami every now and again. And yes, there are people that get a little bit toxic, and then they say stuff, and they kind of tell me I should love Nami, and this is why, and I'm being like unnecessary and hypocritical and blah 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 blah. And but it's okay because the positive outweighs the negative. And with Hunter x Hunter up to now, it's just been like, it feels like there's too much negative, you know? And I just need to distance myself a bit, and enjoy the story at my own pace, and just be with my own thoughts. And, you know, to the patrons who still want to comment stuff, just wait until I post a video on YouTube and go comment amongst the other YouTube, like the YouTube viewers. My mods at least will go through the comments first, and if anyone is really being rude, they'll hopefully delete them in time before I even see them. Okay, but this video is 2 hours and 5 minutes long. I really didn't expect it to be this long. But I had fun talking about all the episodes, what I liked, what I disliked, and even if no one listens, at least I did this, and I'm looking forward to watching the next 3 episodes on Wednesday. Okay, I'll see you guys next time. If you actually listened up to here, comment 3 X's. Whether it's an emoji X or XXX, because, you know, Hunter X Hunter. So just comment 3 X's in the comments, and then I'll know if you listened up to here. If you want, you don't have to. But I'll see you guys then in the next Hunter x Hunter video. Thank you so much for listening to me rant. It really was good to let all the negative emotions go. I'll see you next time. Bye.